Congrats on the new album, man. We haven't chatted in a while, so
Thank you.
I'm really digging the progression in this one. I was actually saying to someone in the house last night when I was listening to it, I'm like, there's a real, like, a lot of twists and turns in it. Was that always the way it was going to be?
I think so. I think the amount of experimentation we've done over like the past few years, and especially the past few releases, we kind of just branched out into every different direction of what the band could be. And I guess this is kind of an amalgamation of all of that. And we didn't want it to feel like entirely separate. So I think yeah, like you said, it is a lot of twists and turns. I think because everything encompasses like every kind of direction we've explored, but just makes it sit really comfortably together. And I think we've finally locked in on how to do that. So this is the first kind of full full experience of that we've managed to put out, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I think of a track like Empty, like when it first came on, I'm like, oh, this is like got a bit of a sort of hardcore punky vibe, and then it just went off. And I was like,
100%.
wow, like they really stepped it up. So when did you guys really start getting in deep with the writing?
It was a bit of a patchy process because we started writing, and then I had all these health hurdles pop up, and we kind of hit the brakes on it after Knotfest. We wrapped up Knotfest in 2023, and then started making the record. But yeah, pretty much straight after that, I just like yeah had to head into hospital and just take a massive breather, just take a big break, and yeah, we kind of just resumed it because I had to take all of that time, and then until we started touring again at the end of 2023, and because it was such a big block of just like we did the whole world, so like we basically had no time to kind of sit down and properly write. So we did a lot of the writing in the studio, pretty much like on that
Right.
actual fucking little break we had in October. We finished the Oz tour, then went straight into the studio, and we pretty much just took everything we had at that point, and yeah, we just fleshed it all out there and in person. And I think yeah, we've never really done it that quickly before and like had to like spring into it like that, but it literally just produced the best that we've ever had. And I think it's because we didn't have to like dwell on it and sit on it and think about it for ages. It's very just raw and fresh off the mind, and that's what made it so special, and probably why it feels so twisty and turny, like you said, because it really is
Yeah.
like thinking about it and just putting it all out there for the world to hear. And that's what's special about this one for us, I reckon.
Do you think that sort of set a pattern now for when you're going to write again? Maybe, you know, going in with a bit more time constraint and going, let's not overdo this. Let's just see what happens. Do you think that could be the future?
I reckon so. I reckon it brings out a whole new level of honesty, like not even lyrically, but also musically, of just your true influence and your true inspiration. Because it's kind of just what is at the forefront of your mind at the time. It brings up just everything that you've like taken your whole life. Like there'll be influences in there you forgot you even had that you listened
Yeah.
to when you're like 16 years old, and they're just coming out and just showing themselves for the first time in probably years. But I feel like that's really a testament to how important all of your musical influence and inspiration is throughout your entire life when you get into those stages, because it really just comes out at that point and you never really realize how important is what you're doing and what you're listening to until that moment happens. But yeah, 100%. I think like going in just like fresh off the bat and not really thinking about it too much. I mean, that's the whole idea behind like creating a record. I think it's just not spending too much time, because the second you start overthinking it, with like artists have to sit with these records for like months until it gets released
Yep.
nowadays. That's absolute torture enough as it is. So I think the whole writing process, having that super quick, kind of might even help that process. It's just less time to sit with it and think about it, and closer to just like putting it down and getting it out. And I think that's the best case scenario for anyone, to be honest, making music.
Cool. Now, you mentioned your health issues, and you're probably a bit over talking about them now, but for the people that don't know, I'm going to see if I can pronounce it right. It's an artervenous malfunction. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, arteriovenous malformation. So it's like a
Right.
yeah, that's it. It's just
Like,
basically
it's a
the blood.
tangle of blood vessels. Like, I went all Doctor Google, like you do when when you break a toe.
That's it. Yeah,
I full Doctor Googled you, mate.
I love it.
But like did you know something was wrong in the lead up, or did it just come out of the blue?
Yeah, so I had knowledge of this for about a year prior, and doctor's advice was to just keep an eye on this for the rest of your life. Like you have this you have this issue in your brain. It's only started becoming an issue of late. We're just going to be maintaining it and just like keeping an eye on it for foreseeable future until if it becomes an issue, which they didn't really expect it to. And yeah, I guess it just popped up out of nowhere after Knotfest. I don't know if it was yeah, probably just due to a lot of just stress and just like burnout, to be honest. And I think that's what kind of hit it. And yeah, just one day was just an unlucky day, and there was nothing that they really saw coming. So it's just a bit unfortunate in all like
Yeah.
in all senses of the matter. And yeah, that's just kind of what like hit me right before we started the record writing. And yeah, I think it's crazy to think how much that actually played into everything about this record in the end, because it just changed perspective on everything and what we're really doing, how we're doing it, and is this what we want to do? I don't know, like there's a lot of existentialism wrapped up in this record, and
Yep.
yeah, questions about like life and how we go about it, and yeah, like what we leave behind, which is the title. And I think just thinking about that in the grander sense of things for the first time in my life was really important and impacted a lot of how this all came together. And yeah, it just really just gave me time to think and realize for the first time in my life like what's really important. And yeah, that's really what I want this record to reflect, and I hope it does like work out on the other side like that for people.
The one thing I'm digging, and everyone should go watch this interview and then go to YouTube and look at the videos, because we're seeing many different sides to Jack in the videos, um, compared to your sort of live persona.
Yes.
There's some really interesting Jacks appearing in these videos. Is that part of this new sort of direction, is just to not be like in a certain lane and just go with how you feel?
Pretty much. I think that's always what Vov has been for me. Like it seems like looking back throughout history, it seems like really messy sometimes just because I think all we have always been is experimental with what we've done, and we've just given things a try, and we've always just like wanted to express ourselves artistically, not just in one direction. Like we've always just wanted to show and try different things. And I think that's what it's all about, really. I think for visual sake, like this whole like experience has been very, I don't know, bring it back down to earth. Like I think the whole idea was to start at the most grandiose point that we could possibly be, as you see in like the Angel of Darkness clips and stuff. And we just wanted to kind of have that as the first image and then strip it all back and just keep stripping it back further and further. This just gets more honest and raw until we just literally, yeah, I don't know, we're really stripping it back now. And just like it was hard to kind of talk about and sing about the things that I am singing about while sort of done up in makeup and like crazy outfits. I think it's important for this record's sake to be just like as personal and as like as vulnerable as possible. And I think that means, yeah, for this album cycle, you're probably going to see a lot less of that. It's probably going to be a lot more raw and honest. But yeah, like we definitely still love the visual side of everything. That's one of the most important things in like presenting your music to me still, and it always will be, is just like having just an awesome sort of picture to go along with it, because I think people really just absorb what they see in that sense. And you see it through history, like the most popular things from all the 90s and all of that like sort of culture where heavy music became big in the world was the image. Like everything
Yeah.
was so fucking crazy and out of this world, and that's what drew people into it at the start. And I think that yeah, down the track people do forget about that, but I don't know, encompassing that into our music is definitely one of the more important aspects. And yeah, I definitely never want to sleep on that. I just want to always push that
Cool.
into the fucking forefront.
So do we get like the I hate to say this, but like the weird pop star version of Jack on the Parkway tour where you go off and do your wardrobe changes?
We're limited for time for Parkway, but no, we've got some cool stuff in mind for that. It's yeah, it's basically we just wanted to that the album cover we've been work like that headpiece that we've worked on has just been in the making for quite a while now, and I think that's just going to be popping up everywhere from here on. So yeah, we'll definitely see that making an appearance here and there. But I don't know, it's just yeah, I think the show is just as important, like you said, and
Yeah.
I think yeah, we always like to leave some surprises in store, even if we are stripping it back. We are always will have some surprises in store for the live show. That's a very
Cool.
important sort of
I
thing.
need to ask, who is or was your angel of darkness?
Angel of Darkness was I mean, I guess I could talk about it now. We literally made Angel of Darkness as like a gimmick, like if you will. There was that whole period of me going into hospital, and I really wasn't allowed to, like, I don't know, I was just on minimal activities. I wasn't allowed to do a lot, and the whole idea of me disappearing off the map and sort of going MIA for a hot minute was to have like this idea that I've been possessed and just taken away, and I don't have to be responsible for appearing anywhere. And yeah, we basically just created this character for me that I was just not there. And it was even down to the point, like on the headline tour, we'd have a backing track on stage just to keep my blood pressure down. I wouldn't like talk in between songs. I'd just focus on the performance and keep it really like mellow. And yeah, it was just like kind of to save face, I think, at the end of the day. But yeah, I guess in a sort of metaphorical sense, Angel of Darkness is kind of that voice in your head, that voice of doubt, or like that voice that's just telling you kind of give up, or like, I don't know, like throw in the towel. And I don't know, that was the first instance that I've really had of that after all the surgery and stuff. And of course there's a lot tied into all of that that I'll reflect later on the record. But
Yeah.
Angel of Darkness is like an overarching kind of theme. I think everyone's got one like going on in their mind sometimes of where they're at in life, what they're doing, if it's the right way to be, right way to do your thing. And yeah, it's just the common doubt that is surrounded and shrouds you in day-to-day life. And I feel like, yeah, encompassing that was an important part of the record, because as dark and as like existential it gets through all the topics that I touch on, I like to think that that is just like a portion of my mind. There is a much more positive like side to everything of
Yeah.
just taking on all this stuff, and you're not necessarily like living by all this negativity as an ethos, but more as a fucking kick up the ass to kind of just get you into where you need to be, really. And that's the important part of thinking that it's not really a personality, it's just like this thing in the back of your head or a character within you that kind of just brings out that negative side every now and then.
Cool. So the Parkway tour is like next week or the week after, and
Yeah,
we're at both of the Brisbane shows, which is exciting. So
I love it.
we're dividing and conquering in this family. Two go one night, two go the next night, and
That's a good way to be.
I draw the short straw and have the 9-year-old in the stands.
That's
No mosh pit behaviour for the 9-year-old.
no more. Honestly, I'm growing fond of the seating. It's starting to be kind. I'm not at all an old codger of any sort, and I don't like to refer to myself as it, but I do love a good sit down. It's proving a treat at shows lately.
Yeah. So I look at the guys down in the pit, and I know they're going to need the Radox bath later, and I'm cool with the seats.
Exactly. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've had
Yep.
our time in the sun. It's now time to just enjoy and sit back and relax, I reckon.
What comes next after the Parkway for you guys?
We're off to the States in November and December. So yeah, we're heading over there for a couple of headliners of our own, which we announced last night. We're doing a tour with the Ghost Inside, who'll be on the Parkway Drive as well, which is awesome. And then capping it all off with a Christmas festival with August Burns Red. So yeah, it'll be really nice way to finish up the year. I think we've recently hit a stride over in the US, which feels really good. And I don't know, I don't know, it finally felt like it clicked the last time we went over there. So it's really exciting to get back, and especially with this new release, like just giving them everything that we currently have at the best and brightest that it's ever been feels really good. And I'm excited to get back over there.
Well, man, the album's going to drop in the middle of the Parkway tour. So as I let you go, let everyone know what they can expect come September 20 with What I'll Leave Behind.
Absolutely. I think like, yeah, what I'll leave behind is literally just our legacy. Like, honestly, it's just what we're going to leave behind. Like the title says, I don't know, like I feel like people go in and out of life just very easily without like leaving something to kind of be remembered by. And I think that was really important in just realizing what I wanted from being in a band and what we wanted from being artists is to just leave your mark. And I think we went all out to give that a red hot go with this record. And I really hope that it does do what we were designed. And I hope it's something in there for everyone. I know not everyone's going to enjoy it, and that's just the fact of life, but we bloody love it and we're so proud of it. And yeah, I'm just so excited to finally just have it all out there. And yeah, feels like a good point to leave it on. And yeah, just really want people to hear what we'll leave behind.
Awesome, mate. I'm lucky enough that I've seen you on small stages, big stages, so I can't wait to see you on that Parkway stage.
Absolutely. I can't wait either, brother. It's going to be sick.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for yours.
Ta.